let me tell you a little bit about our company. eMotion creates and offers devices that support communication between those that are physically separated but emotionally connected in a manner that is safe and easy to use. But before we get into more details, let me define a few key terms. Like tween stands for girls between the age range of 8 and 14 years. That's our target market. BFF stands for best friends forever, a very common tween term used for instant messaging and texting. Less than 3 looks like a sideways heart. Instead of saying I love you, they like to say I less than 3 you. And again, it's a very common term they use for texting. Let me brighten that up a little bit. So the problem we're trying to solve here is, first problem is the website, the online social networking websites that are offered today do not have the most appropriate contents for tween girls. And parents are not okay with the children giving out the personal information on these websites. The second problem is physical proximity. Tweens, from our market research, we found that 55% or more of them use the internet as the main mode of communication between friends. And this will increase over time, but this is not the best way to communicate, because this leads to relationships that are distant, impersonal, and virtual. So to add a human flavor to it, we're introducing our first product, the BFF Less Than 3 necklace. Now, what is this necklace? Well, it looks like that. It's a wireless communicating device that connects to other BFF necklaces using radio frequency. It uses patterns of vibration and patterns of lighting up to communicate secret visual Morse codes. So I receive a message, for example. I look down, it's vibrating. On my left, it's a blue color, LED, and I know it's from Sarah. On the right, the colors are changing, red, blue, green. And I know Sarah says, I miss you. Now, this necklace is capable of sending messages to individuals or groups. And you can select the buttons for individual or group, select the messages, and send them. For example, Mom is here, run, to a group of friends. Red, blue, yellow. Now, all these messages, the coloring, and the vibration patterns are customizable on our website, bfflessthan3.com, where you can do all these, like, play games. But the one I want to highlight is customized casings. So they go on the website. For their one BFF necklace, they can create casings or just select from a catalog of casings and just buy it right there for $5. Then once they buy the necklace, they get to create their clicks, where only friends who they have sent their necklaces face to face gets here. So no outsiders allowed. A very secure, private, personalized space. In this clicks, they get to create their profile, they get to chat, and they get to customize the messages, like I said, the red, blue, green, Mom is here, kind of stuff. So right now the current status is we have a working prototype ready, which is going under testing. We have the website and the desktop software under development. We are working with a Chicago-based law firm to protect our intellectual property. The team consists of Ed and myself are the co-founders, but we have an esteemed board of advisors, including entrepreneurs and scientists and venture capitalists and so on. We have startup resources that are helping us with legal decisions, set up the company. We have a team of 12 students from different majors and backgrounds who are helping us write the business plan, the financial projections, making the prototype, testing, and everything. Anybody want to talk about the marketing?
Sure.
Okay.
The market we're looking at here consists of 8 million tween girls who live in households with an income of over $50,000, and this market has a value of about $13 billion. And we found out also that these tween girls spend on average $110 per girl per month. We also found that out of this 8 million tween girls, 55% of them use the internet to communicate, and also 40% of these girls own a cell phone. And this showcases the strong desire by this market to use technology to communicate even at such a young age. And so we have offerings of the necklace itself, the tangible, as well as the virtual, bfflessthan3.com. But to better understand that, I'd first like to talk about a popular tween website called Webkinz. Now, I'm not sure if you all are familiar with this. Well, you're nodding your head. So yes. But on this website, or in stores even, these tweens, both boys and girls, can purchase a stuffed doll, and then they are granted access to this website where they can see their stuffed toy come to life in a virtual and protected environment. BFF Less Than 3 Necklace bases its model on Webkinz, but we instead focus on enhancing the communication and social networking aspects of our site. So instead of offering a stuffed toy, we offer a wireless communication device that is also a fashion accessory. We also increase the social networking capabilities in that secure environment that Avelo had mentioned earlier, so that only friends that they personally know and have synced their necklaces with, meaning they can communicate, are able to view each other's profiles and chat with each other. We also have competitors identified in terms of the actual device, the touch-based technologies, as well as the devices these tweens already use. Haptics or touch-based technologies are not commercially available, so we do not see them as a significant threat at this time. They also do not target tween girls specifically. In addition, the devices they already use, like cellular phones, as well as text messaging and instant messaging, provide alternative, explicit forms of communication, whereas BFF Less Than 3 Necklace allows these close groups of friends to create that visual Morse code, a very implicit form of communication. So red, blue, green might mean I miss you in one group, but it might mean check out that hot guy to the left in another group. So even if they're intercepted, the meaning is only known by that group of friends. And so we plan to promote this device with a twofold strategy of traditional media outlets as well as high visibility sales. We understand that the viral element of this device is extremely important because if, for example, I own a necklace, if I was a tween girl and I owned a necklace but none of my friends did, it would have very little value beyond that it looks cool and it looks good. But I'm going to go out and get my friends to buy, 4 or 5 of these friends to buy necklaces so that I can communicate with them in this secret manner and also look good at the same time. And so this happens through product reviews in tween magazines like Cosmo Girl, 17, YM, as well as targeting the parents through shows because we recognize that they are the gatekeepers. For example, we've identified a local Chicago radio network, WBBM, which on a weekly basis promotes local up-and-coming businesses and technologies. Also, high visibility sales are really critical to this viral element. According to our market research, 80% of tween girls visit the mall in any given month. And so, needless to say, that's where most of our placement will happen, in the physical realm. So we will rent out mall kiosks, as well as placement in fashion accessory stores, like Claire's, for instance. And once this is implemented, we aim to be cash flow positive by the 7th quarter, and we will achieve the peak sales by the 3rd year of the BFF Less Than 3 Necklace. And this will garner us about $5 million in total revenue. And we recognize that this is a very fat-oriented product, but we have other products that use a similar technology with future applications so that we can have a sustainable business. And to create this business, to launch it, we require about $500,000 investment at this time.
So why invest? Well, we have a simple solution to a big problem. The simple technology, which is very cheap, $29.99. We have an esteemed board of advisors. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
And judges, if you're ready to begin question and answer, you may begin now.
Price point was $29.99.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One question I have, just so I understand the product part. If you belong into one group of tweens that already has 6 kind of stuff, and yet there's this other group that also, and you have friends, and you're kind of, like, how do you...
Common friend.
Yeah, common friend, but yet, you're already tied into this group, and there's this other group there. What happens with that?
It has a different color. For, like, Sarah in this group is green, but Sarah in the other group is blue.
So you can have multiple groups
Yes.
that you kind of move in and out of, and you're able to keep track of all those messages
Yes.
and what they mean?
Yeah. The girls do, because on their clicks they know exactly what it means.
Okay.
It's kind of their in thing.
Yeah.
And it really fits into the girls' culture there because, they're all into like these secret clubs and the codes and all these things.
These guys are trying to crack the code of mysterious young girls.
And 3 guys.
It's 3
I don't
guys.
get
That
it. They must have sisters or something.
They tell them the secret's got to give up.
Right.
That's our feminine side.
You said you'll be cash flow positive after 7 quarters. What kind of revenue numbers is that?
Yeah.
In terms of what is
What kind of revenue numbers are you hitting?
Oh.
You said you were profitable in the third year, I believe, and cash flow positive after 7 quarters. What kind of top-line revenue on an annual basis are you hitting at, say, the third year?
Well, as I mentioned, this is a very fad-oriented product,
Right.
because we recognize this market's fickle, and but so we're looking at cash flow positivity in the 7th quarter, meaning we will be in the positive, so potential returns at that point in the 7th quarter, and we're looking at about $250,000 total profit by the 2nd year, and then that goes up to I think 1.3 million profit by the 3rd year.
And $250,000 profit in year 2 is off of revenues of what number?
That's purely off of the sales of the BFF necklace, the actual device. Our revenues have not taken into account the recurring revenue streams involved by the casing sales, as well as the advertising revenue through our online tween partnerships.
And that top-line revenue number in year 2?
The top line, that was 250,000. Or are you talking about total or profit?
I'm talking about total revenue.
Total revenue was about, I think, 1.6 million.
Okay, and 250 profit on 1.6 million.
Yes.
That's what I was
I'm
getting.
sorry.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, I wasn't understanding. If any of you had anything to add to that. Okay. I'm sorry.
And ongoing revenue, once you've sold a necklace to a girl for $30, what kind of ongoing revenue opportunities are there for that particular customer?
There's customized casings that they can buy, like we mentioned at the beginning, and there's also, we're exploring an option, we'll mention those clicks. Well, right now we're thinking, okay, well they could just, everyone who buys a necklace can open their click. We're also looking at, okay, well what if we charged a monthly fee, like $2 a month to actually have your own click. Of course everybody can be a part of a click, but in order to say who's in and who's out and manage all the messages and chats and all that stuff, maybe charging a yearly fee, that could give us some ongoing revenue.
What's the price of the casing?
$5.
It's just a simple snap-on, snap-off replaceable casing. So
It's like cell phone covers.
Mhm.
So you have one BFF and like you have 10 casings. You match with your tire.
What's the gross margin on this absolutely nothing price point $5 thing?
Yeah.
We have 50 cents probably to manufacture it, so $4.5.
Absolutely nothing cost point as well. At least those match up.
Tell me some more about this. You got to be in close proximity to sync it up, or whatever
Yes,
that was earlier.
within 30 feet.
Okay.
So when you sync your BFF necklace, both of you have to be face to face, and you press buttons, you sync, and then you go home, plug it to your computer with the USB port, and there's a desktop software where it gives you the buddy list. So if anybody got in by accident, or there's an outsider, you can obviously delete that person.
But everybody presses their button at the same time.
Same time.
So, you're all getting a circle and you press your button, so it's very unlikely that anyone decides who you want in your group.
But still, there's this desktop software to help you just go through it and scan it.
So there are several safeguards in place in the proximity, as well as you need to buy a unit to get into the website. Then you need to sync to get into these more personal pages. So,
And not only that, in Jessica's click, Jessica will be giving out passwords to her friends who is she inviting. So even if you're by mistake inside, synced in her BFF, you cannot get into the website. Click. So there's levels of security for them, so no outsiders are allowed.
How far away do you have to be to send a message?
How far?
How far away?
1,000 feet.
You have to be within 1,000 feet to send a message and have it be received.
And that's one of the product risks that we're looking at right now, too, is seeing how can we increase that transmission range.
and we're looking at possible mesh networking. This is very preliminary, the mesh networking aspect, as a means of, or at least in higher or more urban areas where there would be higher concentrations of these girls. But that's only in the we're talking about stage.
And how does this compare, your revenue growth line compared to, say, Webkins, and how long has that been on the market? And do you have any idea how large Webkins is? at this
Webkins
point?
has a revenue of around $150 million a year, but I'm really not, I cannot precisely say when they started.
Okay. Pretty amazing.
They get about 8 million visitors at their site a month.
Yes.
Crazy.
Like in some of the months, it's insane.
It's a really popular space. I mean, there's companies right now that are buying smaller groups, like Disney, for instance, right now is buying into this position too, and that's kind of part of our exit strategy as well. Is 5 years down the road, when our business has matured and we're introducing those new products that we were talking about, actually selling it off to a company like Disney or Webkins.
Sounds like a predominant place this is going to be end up being used as schools. And I can
It will
imagine.
be banned in schools, to be honest.
Yeah, so it'll be quickly banned in schools. So
Right.
what's the fear or risk factor of that part of it? Like if you achieve success, that's when it's going to get banned, and that's when the success.
I think I'll take it, but you could add to it later.
Okay, this is a cool question.
I know, we have been asked this so many times. The thing is, it will be banned in schools. Just like Webkin toys, you won't be allowed to take your toys or BFF or cell phone in your classrooms. But that adds, like, when you're told not to do it, you want to do it more. But you're not always in school. You go to malls. You go out with your parents. They're playing all the time with these twin girls. And even, like, parents, when we did our surveys, they told us that even if it's on their bed, they'll sit on different edges of the bed and play with it, just for the heck of it. So it's just not schools. When they're outside, they use it. And if you're not,
Oh, just a specific example, like the word sleepovers has come up so many times from parents of these twin girls of what they would see as a great time to use it, and also after school activities, brownies, for example, or other social clubs that these twin girls engage themselves in would be a great venue for this.
Even though they're not only within 1,000 feet of each other, they're like within 10 feet of each other.
Yeah, it's a gadget.
They text each other now if they're sitting next to
Yeah.
each other.
Well, that's true. That's true. They do in the classroom.
They got to be secret, you know.
At the university.
Don't want the boy to hear what you're saying about the cute boy.
Yeah.
It's like passing notes, kind of.
Yeah.
Is there an equivalent product to sell to boys? I mean, they're not going to walk around with a necklace, obviously.
we're thinking about it. But right now, this is the first product, BFF less than 3, just for girls.
Okay.
But later on, maybe same technology for different age group.
Most of the other products we've looked at are targeting females, though,
Yeah.
just because of the wearable communication device, because we found they're more receptive to social networking devices as well as these more flashy elements at this point.
Right.
And time.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your
Thanks.